Christian Horner is now considering a brand new role in the world of Formula One, as it seems like being a team principal is no longer intimidating for him. The Brit could become a part team owner of the team that's currently last in the drivers' standings. So with this in mind, could we see a successful rebuild story for Alpine? And if so, how will the impact of Horner dictate the direction of the Enstone-based squad? There is no doubt that Horner's availability in the world of Formula One is becoming more and more controversial, not because he's not quality personnel, far from that. Primarily because of the stuff that's happened behind closed doors in Red Bull. He wasn't able to shrug off all of the allegations against him made by a female employee. Even though he was proven to be innocent 1 year later, he was sacked by Red Bull, and while many think he'd be a great team principal in another team, Horner might actually have his eyes set on a different goal, becoming a team owner. Alpine is one of the teams that could offer him exclusive opportunity, as the French-based squad are in desperate need to finally put themselves on the map with great staff working for them. Horner, for example, has tons of experience and has been part of every success that Red Bull has gotten in the history of the sport. 8 drivers and 6 constructors' championships for the Austrian team are not something that could be thrown away so easily. Be that as it may, there are loads of question marks as to how he can continue with this success and how another team could make a great use of his services. The position of team principal is not really up for grabs in many squads. Of course, Alpine is offering one, given the fact that Briatore is the shot caller and he's very close with Horner. But knowing that the former boss of Red Bull might have a bit of a higher expectation, what should we expect from these two when it comes to collaboration? According to reports close to the sport, Horner is ready to invest as much as 20% in Alpine's stakes. The Enstone-based squad has been reported to put a big chunk of their team up for sale, and if Horner wants to become part owner of it, he would have to pay around £298 million. It's a huge amount of money, but we must not forget that there are tons of changes coming to Alpine that would be intimidating for Horner. For starters, there's been a great financial injection by the Hollywood stars that helped the French squad in investing in what needs to be invested in to compete up front. Yes, that's not working right now and they're dead last, with Gasly scoring all of the points for the team. But at the end of the day, I don't think this would be a determinant factor for Horner to join Alpine. He's a man who can definitely turn the fortunes around in a struggling team, and that's precisely what the Enstone-based squad needs right now. Many have asked about the financial aspect of Horner's approach. Does he have that amount of money to invest in Alpine? A big help is the fact that around £50 million would probably end up in his bank account after breaking down the Red Bull contract, because his contract doesn't expire until 2030. Red Bull sacked Horner without telling him why, with immediate effect, which only means one thing: they mean business. The Austrian side doesn't want to have anything in the foreseeable future with the Brits team principal. But what's one man's trash is another man's treasure. Alpine could be the team in which Christian would find a new home. And when you think about it, even if a purchase of stakes is not on the table, it makes a lot of sense for him to join Alpine from this point of view. He needs a project team to prove his worth and to clear his name and all of the wrongdoings that have happened in the past with the female employee, despite the fact that the court stated loud and clear there's nothing wrong in that entire saga. Still, it's a dark mark that's standing on Horner's career as we speak. And he needs to be working tirelessly on something else before he gets caught in a downward spiral with all of the negative comments heading towards him. A strong indicator that Alpine has great aspirations to sign Horner is the fact that Briatore talked to Horner almost immediately after he got sacked by Red Bull. After congratulating him on the brilliant tenure Horner had while being in charge of the Austrian team, Alpine's fans have started to think about the impossible becoming a reality: a high-profile member in the world of Formula One becoming a part of their team. Not that long ago, you'd think that such a move would be a possibility, but the recent moves have definitely gone on to show that there is nothing certain in the world of Formula One. But what are the other options for Horner if it's not for Alpine? Here he has 2 opportunities: either become a team principal or a part team owner, and both of them are suiting him amazingly. However, Alpine's success is brought under a huge question mark. Yes, they are on the right path by signing Mercedes as their engine suppliers, and the Brackley-based squad has been labelled to be in a great position to lead the new regulations along with Ferrari and potentially Honda. And it would be truly a bombshell for Red Bull when you think about it. The man who's been there for 20 years has now all of a sudden wandered off, and there's a big possibility that he can be more successful in a team that would use Mercedes' engines. Again, a man of Horner's experience will be sought after by many F1 teams, Ferrari included. The initial reports state that the Maranello-based squad are in talks with Vasseur to extend the contract and see what the Frenchman has prepared for the newly regulated era, but I don't really see that happening in the close future. There have been lots of internal restructures in Ferrari, and that's all thanks to Vasseur, but when you think about it, Fred does need to get a little bit stricter with how he's implementing the politics within the inner circles of the team. There have already been tons of instability in Ferrari from the internal point of view. They're struggling to match the performance of their rivals, they're also struggling to understand where the car bleeds out, and no matter what they do, the excuse is always the same. There is potential, we just need to find it. Drivers are getting angry, and Hamilton has already started to call his team to focus on 2026 because we've seen that in this year, they just don't have as much hope as they had before the beginning of the season. Obviously, people like Elkan and Wigner have now started to raise questions as to whether or not they're in the right by continuing with Fred's leadership. And now with Horner's availability, things have changed a little bit. But what has been reported from media close to Maranello is that they are not ready to deal with all of the external drama that's coming by signing Horner, and I don't think you can blame them for that. Their policy is that a man of Christian's resume might be a bit harmful for the long-term picture of the projects that they have ready. So with all of this in mind, Ferrari is likely to continue in the same direction that they have gone for the past couple of years. Whether or not that would result in something more than a fight for P2, time will tell, but ultimately, it's their choice to make. And at last, we have Aston Martin. The Silverstone-based squad are now thinking about a move in another direction, now that Horner is available. But there is a big hurdle here, Adrian Newey. The technical partner of the team was adamant that he's going to be present in every way possible regarding the choosing of the team's collaborators. In that case, Horner might not be at the top of his priority list because he's been the primary reason as to why Newey sought a way out of the team and wanted a new adventure in the first place. Of course, everything can be buried beneath the carpet, but from this point of view, I just don't see it happening. So, we're turning back to Alpine, and let's not fool ourselves, there are obstacles here as well. Pierre Gasly has been part of the French team's struggles for quite a long time, and now that he's scored 100% of the team's points in the 2025 season, he could definitely have a say as to whether he wants Horner to be a part of the team. When he drove for Red Bull back in 2019, he was sacked after just 13 races, with the epitome being Verstappen lapping him in Hungary. However, Gasly has shown that apart from that toxic environment in Red Bull, he is a great driver and a man who understands the sport if being given a proper chance. All of this is leading us to believe that Horner is going to aim towards becoming a team principal or a team owner sooner rather than later. But the question that we need to answer for ourselves is, will Alpine be willing to give him the chance to have him on their board? With all of this in mind, do you think that the Enstone-based squad are going to be much better by having Horner on their team? And if so, which role do you think he's going to have here? Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to click on the video that's appearing on your screen right now.